Hello there. So we're gonna be burgered with a new tax on meat, are we? As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. According to The Sun, a report will be unveiled within the next few weeks that argues for a meat tax to be levied on UK consumers. That's right. Everything from chicken to turkey to pork to beef will be taxed, all for your health and the health of the planet, or so it's claimed. Although it may be limited to processed meats like burgers and sausages, to start with. But I suspect this has as much, if not more, to do with the health of the Treasury's finances and the UK economy. Because as the nation is forced to ditch fossil-fuelled cars and gas boilers, etc., then there will be no justification for green taxes on transport and home heating. That lost tax revenue will need to be replaced with something new. And now they've found the next eco-based tax target: meat. So far from having a reduced tax bill when you take to the cold and rainy streets on your bicycle because of the hideous cost of a new electric car puts one out of your reach, you'll still be paying the same amount of tax, or possibly more. Otherwise, there's no public services. Now, this report is being prepared by Boris Johnson's food Tsar, Henry Dimbleby, and is understood to say that a meat tax may be necessary in order to combat climate change, even in the face of food riots. Processed meats such as burgers, bacon, ham, sausages and chicken nuggets could face a levy, The Sun understands. Sources said the document was still a work in progress, but did not dispute the push to make some meats costlier. Mr Dimbleby is expected to tell the PM that any tax should be avoided in the short term because it may spark uproar, reports the paper. And do you think they'll stop at processed meats? Or is that just a starting point? Anyway, the reason appears to be that food in the UK accounts for 1/5 of our carbon emissions, with a lot of it being emitted during meat production. Presumably all that animal belching and bovine farting that we hear so much about. But this new proposal to tax meat products also contains stuff about promoting fruit and veg, as well as handing out free fruit and veg to poorer households to beat childhood obesity. Now, The Sun did ask Boris about this before, and he said there'd be no meat tax on his watch. Like there'd be no border down the Irish Sea type of thing. And the drive for everything green coupled with Treasury needs will almost certainly ensure that meat eventually does get taxed. Now, I was always taught that meat promotes growth in children. Here's what Healthline.com said in 2018. Red meat is one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. It is loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants and various other nutrients that can have profound effects on health. And it also says, red meat is also rich in important nutrients like creatine and carnosine. Non-meat eaters are often low in these nutrients, which may potentially affect muscle and brain function. Especially meat from naturally grass-fed animals, it says. Then here's a 2005 report from Nature.com. Meat is a vital part of a child's diet, according to a 2-year study of Kenyan school kids. Without it, children grow up smaller, less strong, and less intelligent, the results suggest. And the study, by Lindsay Allen of the University of California, gave hundreds of children different food supplements or none at all. Children in the meat-supplemented group showed up to an 80% greater increase in upper arm muscle compared with the non-supplemented children. For milk drinkers, this figure was 40%. Kids who were fed meat also outperformed their peers in tests of intelligence, problem-solving and arithmetic. the group that received the meat supplements were more active in the playground, more talkative and playful, and showed more leadership skills, Allen said. So while the ordinary people of the UK eat potatoes, carrots and onions, they'll be watching their children grow up smaller than previous generations. But you can bet your hair shirt that the children of the rich and powerful will have very tall children that can in future look down on all the little people. And little people eat less, take up less space, and don't use up as much energy should you need to transport them about in bulk. And smaller children will find it a lot easier to get up those chimneys. But to be fair, there are nutritionists who say that we can get all the growth protein, minerals and vitamins we need from other food sources, such as beans, nuts, greens, yoghurt, eggs, berries, milk and fish. Although I must say that eating more beans, of the baked variety, could cause havoc with emissions. And then there is also this huge push now for Westerners to start eating bugs and spiders, something I've mentioned before. So instead of dealing with that infestation using ant powder, you'll be down there with a straw playing aardvark. And no need for fly spray when dealing with those blue bottles. And then there are the scientists out there right now playing God and trying to formulate weird chemical meats to tempt our palates with. Shades of Soylent Green. Although I had thought that hot dog and burger outlets had perfected that process decades ago. And now it sounds like the UK government is also going to come out with a white paper for a national food strategy, which will of course be shaped by the green agenda. So it sounds like it'll be full of recipes for nut cutlets, mashed dung beetle steak, locust yoghurt, and spinach and sprout smoothies. Yummy. And then when they've drastically reduced meat eating for the little people, who are therefore paying less tax, what comes next on the tax agenda? But meat tastes great and is part of our accepted diet. So the government food czar is right to warn of the potential for unrest over any proposals for a meat tax. And as this report is due out in a month or so's time, it will be the new Health Secretary Sajid Javid who's front and centre to deal with it. Can you imagine Matt Hancock trying to back a meat tax on sausages on health grounds after what he's been up to? And let's get some cameras placed in the Palace of Westminster restaurants so we can watch our politicians to ensure they also get to munch on mealyworm and gag on grasshoppers and not be sneakily stuffing themselves with king-sized double whammy burgers and fries dripping with red and brown sauces. And in other news, according to the latest panel-based survey for the Sunday Times, backing for independence in Scotland has ebbed back a bit to 48%, with 52% wanting to stay in the UK. No wonder Nicola Sturgeon and her SNP mob have been relatively quiet on the matter of an Indie Ref 2 these last couple of weeks. So what's your opinion on a meat tax? Please like and comment below.